Okay, I'm in Autodesk Inventor. I'm going to create these parts in Autodesk Inventor and then create an assembly of my different wood magic trick project. So these are 1/8 inch thick circles that are 1 inch diameter. Then this board is 1.5 inches wide and 9 inches long. So it's 1.5 by 1.5, and then it's 1/4 inch thick, and then it backs up to those. So first thing I'm going to do is create a new part. I'm going to sketch that part in my XY plane. I'm going to create a circle, set it at the origin with a 1 inch diameter. And I'm going to extrude that out. Again, it's an 1/8 inch thick. And then there's my part. I'm going to put a wood to it. Let's make this birch wood. And then once I have that, I'm going to go File, Save As, and I really need to I'll create a new folder in my wood projects called Wood Type Magic Trick. And then I'm going to call this part 1, and I save. Then I'm actually just going to change my wood finish to say cherry. And then now I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to actually call this part 2. I could do that a third time. Maple, File, Save As. This time it's going to be part 3. Okay, so I'll have these 6 parts. This part on the back is going to be the same as one of these. So there are 6 circle parts. And then I'm going to do my 7th part, which is going to be this piece of MDF. So I'm going to go File, New. I'm going to create a new part. There's a lot of ways to draw this. I think I'm going to draw it on the XY plane. I'm going to create a rectangle, snapping at the origin. It's 9 inches, tab 1.5 inches. There's my rectangle. And then within that rectangle, no, I think that's good. I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude that out a 1/4 inch. And put a material on that. Unfortunately, I don't have an MDF. Maybe I'll make it white. Okay, fit it to the screen. So now what I need is I need to cut circles through this part. So the way that I create my solid first, and then I'm going to create a 2D sketch. It's asking me what plane do I want to draw it on. I'm going to draw it on right there. I'm going to create a rectangle, and this is just going to give me the center point of my circle. So I'm going to go over 3/4 of an inch, tab 3/4 of an inch, and that's the center of the circle. Right click OK, and now I'm going to create a circle here, and this is a 1 inch circle. And then I'm going to go back and delete these lines because these were really used as construction lines for me to find a point. So now that I have that, I'm going to finish the sketch and extrude it a 1/4 inch back through the board like that. And I'm going to do that 6 times across. Okay, and then this is, I'm going to save this. I'm going to actually call this File, Save As. I'm going to call this part 7. And again, I'm going to do that 6 times. And then I'm going to create a new assembly. And the first part I'm going to put into my assembly is going to be part 7 because that one's going to be fixed. So I want to place part 7. And then within this, I'm going to place part 1. So I'm going to place it here. I'll place it one more time right there. Right click, OK. Okay, so here's my part 7 and part 1. What I need to do here is constrain it. I'm going to go Constrain, I'm going to use this circle insert, and then I'm going to use the aligned circle. So again, that was circle insert, aligned circle. I'm going to grab that circle and place it in there, apply. I can see it's flush. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this circle as well, where I'm going to place that circle in there on the back, apply. So, the next step is I'm going to go back to my part 7 and drill the rest of the holes, and then place more of the parts in here. I'll place part 2 in here, and then I'll place part 3 in here. And then let's say part 3, or I guess part 1 was the one that's going to go on the back 6 times. So I'd have to go back here and place part 1 in here for the back. I have it in there 1 time, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. So the different woods go in here, and then all the same wood in the back. And then that's my assembly. And then in this assembly, I can also go to 3D model up here and fillet the edges like a round over, or the corners if I were to round those corners off. And then when I'm all done with that, the next thing I do is I create my third piece, which is a new DWG. And then I'm going to take my assembly and place that in my drawing. And again, the default setting is C size paper. I want to change that to A size paper. Now this is sheet 202, so I need to go back and create sheet 101. And then I'm going to place my assembly in here. I didn't finish my assembly, but just to get you an idea of what it looks like. It's not going to fit in here, so I'm going to scale it here, do a multi-view drawing of it, and then put an ISO and a colored in view up here. And then I'm going to create a new sheet in this assembly. I'm going to create a new sheet in this drawing. So I go up here to go new sheet. And in that new sheet, which should be sheet 202, I'm just going to pick one part to place in here. I think I'm going to make that part 7. So that's going to go, let's see, part 7. Again, that's a little bit too large. It's a 1:2 scale. That looks good. Right click OK. And then in my working drawing, I'm going to annotate it. This is going to put my dimensioning lines on here. Right, and I'll put my ISO, colored in ISO up here, fill this in with my name and date and scale. And again, I didn't finish my assembly, just trying to give you the idea of how to create the 3 different kinds of drawing. The first are your parts. You're going to have the big board, is part 7. Then you're going to have 6 little circles, and one of them you're going to place 7 times, 6 here, plus the 7th in the front. Then you're going to create your assembly, IAM, where you bring your parts together. And then finally, you're going to create your working drawings. And these are what you post in your portfolio, or the person would take out in the shop to see how to build the project.